Nintendo millionaire scam exposed. Is Mercury in retrograde or something? Because this week has gotten so weird. We've got a huge $1 million gaming scam going on. We've got Master Hand, like in real life. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope has somehow been named best game of 2021 when it hasn't even come out yet and the date is set for 2022. So weird. There's just a lot of weird going on and I don't know what to blame it on. Like, is there a full moon, a retrograde? Somebody who knows astrology, tell me what's wrong. Our one saving grace in this week of weirdness is that I'm actually giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED. I'm trying to put some good back out into the world again, you know? Even if the world is crumbling around us, at least you and I, we've got our nice white OLEDs. We're just chilling. We're just chilling in the like bomb shelter, you know, no biggie. I love science. I'm a science girl, but I truly do not understand this fascination right now with making lifelike robots. Personally, I've never woken up and said, you know what I feel like doing? I feel like creating a robot that can maybe one day destroy the human race. Never. If you're wondering how the heck this has to do with Nintendo, one of the hot things right now in robotics is something called soft robotics, which is kind of emulating a more human movement instead of a jerky movement. A bunch of scientists got together and created, get this, a hand that plays video games. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Here's the thing, this hand was not originally created to play video games. But in order to set up its calibration, what they did is they made the robot have to pass the first level of Super Mario Brothers in 90 seconds. But like also, I truly do not understand why like scientists just wake up some days and they're like,
I'm gonna make a humanoid robot that can just take over the world.
Like what? I've never had that desire, ever. So where does that leave us? With a 3D printable hand that can play the first level of Super Mario Brothers in under 90 seconds. Again, sounds eerily familiar to me. Why? Why is Master Hand a real thing? What's next? Real life Donkey Kong? That would be cool. But Donkey Kong's based off of King Kong, so not cool. I take it back. Hopefully this doesn't get me killed in a future robot apocalypse, but I just feel like maybe we could create less lifelike hands that can play video games. Like, what happened to the old Rube Goldberg machines, you know? I love those things. Like, give me a complicated way of systems that cooks me an egg or something. I don't need a hand that moves lifelike. I'm fine. Hey you, yeah you, wanna know the coolest cool kid trend? It's subscribing to this channel, but you didn't hear it from me. Shh. Gets weirder, guys. I truly do not know what is happening this week. So, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope just won the title of Best Switch Game of 2021. If you're confused like me, that might be because Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is not set to come out until 2022. It doesn't even have a release date yet. If you look on Amazon, the date that it says that it's coming out is December 31st, 2022, which is obviously just a placeholder because they have no idea. But how funny would it be if the game voted Best Switch Game of 2021 came out all the way on the last day of 2022? So not only did Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope win Best Game at Gamescom, there was only one other video game nominated in that category. It gets even weirder than that when you look at the only other game it was nominated against for Best Switch Games of 2021 was Just Dance 2022, which is also an Ubisoft game. So it's just two Ubisoft games. And like, if we're looking at 2022, how is Breath of the Wild 2 not considered in there? Like, what? And this is not to hate on Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I am really excited for this game. I loved the first Mario plus Rabbids game. I thought it was great. Like, I was obsessed with this game. It's just very weird. And like all the other game categories for the awards had 3 games in them, but for some reason Best Switch Game only had 2. Just so many little details and I was like, what is going on? I looked into it and I guess you have to submit your game. So maybe Nintendo was just like, we're fine, and only Ubisoft nominated themselves? I don't really know. The whole thing was just weird. But there is a shining light in all of this, which means that hopefully Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is gonna be really good. Which, I mean, I was already hoping, I wasn't doubting them, but now they have an award backing them up, so fingers crossed. And if you haven't played the original Mario plus Rabbids, I have some great news for you as well. It is currently on sale. I'm not sure how long the sale will last, but currently on Target, Amazon, and GameStop, you can get the first game for only $20, which is normally $60. So that is an incredible deal. And it's a really fun game. You won't regret it. And it'll get you ready to play the award-winning Part 2. Speaking of parallel universes, there's this TikTok going around that showed a Pokemon game vending machine at Del Amo Fashion Square in Torrance, California. So you can get Pokemon games from this vending machine for only $10. Are they legit Pokemon games? Who knows? I can only see what I saw on the internet. But at the same time, like, even if it's a weird ripoff, only $10, that equals a fun time for a weird ripoff too. Like, I almost like when things are like really bad. Like, I want my things either really good or really bad in a way that it's really funny. Both have the opportunity to become my favorite thing. The original creator of this TikTok actually did a comparison between the version of Pokemon Sapphire he got in the vending machine and his own personal copy of Pokemon Sapphire back to back, and it looks pretty legit. But again, people only show what they want to show on the internet, so I'm not sure how accurate it is. But when it came to looks, overall, the copy he bought in the vending machine was just a little bit more transparent in the back, but looked fine. And when he put the games in, like in a shot to shot comparison, everything looked pretty much the same. If you were a super big fan, I'm sure obviously there's probably little changes here and there, but for the most part, it looks pretty good, and it's only $10, so why not? If you're in the Torrance area, go check it out. Let me know how it goes. Okay, now it's time to get serious. I was actually recently made aware of a fraud in a topic that we had discussed earlier, and I just wanted to make sure you guys know about it too. In one of my earlier videos, I brought up the fact that retro games were being sold for like the highest prices we had ever seen. In fact, at that time, there was a copy of a game that was sold for about $1 million. The highest retro video game sale currently is at $2 million. This keeps going up and up, but I learned some information about what's actually going on behind the scenes of all of this, which made me a little worried, and I think you guys should know it too. So let's start with one of the game copies we actually mentioned on our own show, which was this copy of Super Mario Bros. One of the things that was thought to make this particular copy so special was that it had such a high grading. It was seen as like extremely pristine, better than allegedly other copies we had seen on the market. Currently, the price tag is at $2 million for this copy. Back when I talked about it, it was at 1 point something million. Who knows? It's just gone up and up and up. But what I didn't know at the time when I addressed this on the show was that this copy has been traded back and forth into the same hands, even back to when it sold for $30,000 in 2017. That means it started at $30,000 and went all the way to $2 million in 2021, which again sounds like great news if you own a copy of Super Mario Bros., but it's actually not. I'm going to give you a very quick rundown of this, but Carl Jobst, who is actually my source and came out with a 50-minute YouTube video covering this topic with all the evidence, is a great place to go if you want to look more into this. I'm gonna link it in the description as well. It's super interesting, and again, if you are into games or trading games or just a collector or just watching from afar, it is truly mind-blowing to see how convoluted all of this gets, and it is definitely not right. Basically, if you've been watching this copy as it's evolved from its original $30,000 price tag, the same people have been in it together since the beginning. They've been cannibalizing their own profits by acquiring and then rebuying these games at like overly inflated prices to make them look more and more valuable. That's just creating this completely unsustainable bubble, which again can be really dangerous if you are a real person that just happens to be caught up in video game collecting. Not only that, but it makes it hard in general for video game collectors who are pure of heart that literally are not in it for money or anything like that. This is causing just regular inflation of prices of video games, which sucks. There's even opportunities right now to like micro-buy ownership of different copies of games in hopes to make a lot of money when they sell at auction houses, but literally the only people that are actually making money are the people who created this bubble in the first place. They've been able to successfully inflate the prices of these copies of games that aren't even that rare truly in the market, because they are also driving the rating system. So they are also giving themselves like the best rating you can get and benefiting from it directly, which is driving investors to the market, which lets it keep on growing. And this is not the first time they did this. Carl Jost points out in his video that they actually did the exact same thing, the exact same auction house, and the exact same guy who created the valuing company for these video games. They did the literal exact same things with the coin collecting market earlier. It's definitely fishy. Be careful. Somebody call Phoenix Wright, because I sense some lawsuits coming in the near future. Basically, again, what I'm saying is don't let these people just ruin your love of collecting video games, but also be very cautious, because these people definitely seem like they only have their intentions in mind, and I really hope the actual video game lovers don't get hurt in the process. All right, now that we've talked about all the wild things going on, I actually have some good news. What? Good news? Yes. And that good news is that I have an extra Nintendo Switch OLED, and I'm going to give it away to one of you. So if you've been following the Nintendo Switch OLED, you know that everywhere pre-sale orders are sold out, which is really exciting. I truly was wondering when this was first announced if people were gonna buy it. I knew I was gonna buy it because I was a sucker. I didn't know if anybody else was also interested in this. It did seem like the white copy took off way quicker than just the regular neon color, but both are currently completely sold out, which really sucks if you were unsure at the beginning about whether or not you wanted an OLED, and now they're sold out everywhere. You can currently find them on sale for like eBay resellers for like $200 more. I don't know. Even for me, I feel like I would feel weird about that in general, because they don't even have a physical version of it yet. So you're paying someone $200 over the price for something that they don't even have, just like the promise of something that you hope that they actually have a pre-order for. But who knows? You know, sometimes it works out. The whole thing is just weird and sketchy. Don't be dismayed, I actually have some good news. That's right, and that is that I am giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED. Woo! And not the lame neon version, the white version. That's right, for free. I'm going to get into the details later as it gets closer to the release, but make sure you're subscribing so you can have more details. I am so excited to have a Switch OLED with you.